everyone, and welcome to Batter Up. I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day with your moms. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I'm joined tonight by Ben Kearse and Chardot. You can follow him on the SG Sports Talk channel. I'm Lolo Antonio, and I hope everybody is doing great on this fine Wednesday, and I hope that everybody is doing wonderful. And we got a lot to get off on our chest, but we're going to kick the show off with our favorite team weekly report segment. And I know, Ben, are you ready to get everything off your chest of what's been going on with your Boston Red Sox lately? They have not played the way that we expected to right now. But, Ben, the floor is yours.
Well, it's not even like me wanting to rant tonight, just because the Celtics had just an absolute crushing loss. That just stunning. The Bruins are on the cusp of elimination tomorrow in the playoffs, so it's been a little rough for me the last couple of days here. And obviously I would go on a rant. I might a little bit as of right now, but I'll try to keep the spirits as high as possible because I know that I'm trying to enjoy my show tonight. So it's been really rough. Any way you want to say it, all along with my teams. So this Red Sox have been pretty brutal. They just lost tonight, also on a walk-off, which made my night from going to seeing the Celtics have a complete choke job to seeing the Red Sox getting walked off for what it feels like for like 7 or 8 times. It's hard to kind of cusp in terms of what stuff's going on. They're 11-20. They're in last place. They, I think, are a game back of the Baltimore Orioles, which is just pretty embarrassing. Even though the Orioles haven't been horrible, I mean, in terms of their standards, they're still not a very good baseball team. Yeah, so the Red Sox right now are 11.5 games back as it stands right now. So it's been really tough. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. Their offense actually looks like they're starting to hit a little bit more, which is, I guess, good. But they're using a lot of guys in their back and their bullpen that kind of a lot of plug and play. They don't have really an identity. Trevor Story did hit his first home run tonight, which I guess it was good, but it's been really tough so far. Am I counting this team to be season over, done with? No, but it's going to be a very tall task to kind of get themselves kind of back into it. It's not like the schedule's getting much easier. They have the Texas Rangers coming up this weekend. Then they have the Astros, and then they have the Mariners at home next week. So it is what it is. We'll kind of see how things are going. But obviously, the Celtics and Bruins have kind of alleviated some of the pain that I've had to go through. And if things kind of stand as of right now, possibly the Celtics, after a very crushing one for me tonight, and then possibly the Bruins being eliminated tomorrow, then it's like, now I have to go back to the team I really love, but it's been just a very hard season so far to watch. There's been some bright spots. Offensively, Rafael Devers, JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, but they haven't been all consistently top to bottom of this lineup, which is supposed to be their strong suit to win games. I would want to rant tonight. I really would. Maybe I will, depending on how things go next week. But just kind of the way kind of tonight went, it was just kind of tough to kind of really have it really off my chest, just because I'm still kind of in disbelief before coming on here in terms of the how things went with the Celtics. So the floor is yours, guys, for your teams. But that's kind of the way the Red Sox have been. It's not been good. Hopefully things get better.
And Chardot, what is your report on the Giants?
I'm saying my Giants have been doing really great this year, man. They're doing really wonderful. They're 19-12, and You know, they're having a phenomenal year. They just got the win over the Rockies, winning the game 7-1. They complete the sweep. We get the brooms out, clean the floor. I mean, for me, we have some bright players on our roster. We got Mauricio Dubon, we got Logan Webb, Carlos Rodon, Evan Longoria. So I think our team is really stacked, and if we have a mindset this year, we can really accomplish some great things this year if we put our minds to it.
And I'm gonna might pull a Ben here on my Dodgers here, but I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here that I am a bit disappointed that the Dodgers lost the 3-game series to the Pirates. They should have not done so. We could have taken 2 out of 3. But I tell you, I think the pitching today really was disappointing today for the Dodgers. But hey, at least they swept the Cubs. But I still think that they had a winning road trip. It could have been better if they swept the Pittsburgh Pirates. But I think that the Dodgers will be fine. I'll be at the game tomorrow when the Dodgers take on the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to sending those pictures to Isaiah, because I know if he's watching. Isaiah, if you're watching, I'm watching your Phillies tomorrow in person, and I've never seen the Phillies play in person before, but I am excited to see Bryce Harper, Carl Schwarber, Nick Castellanos play against the Dodgers. And the thing with the Phillies is what I want to see tomorrow when I'm at the game is the Dodgers to get to their pitching early. And I know, Ben and Chardo, you could agree with me, the Phillies, their pitching has been atrocious again. I mean, the lineup is okay, but the lineup at times is very, very streaky. You could write them as the best team in baseball on paper, but it's not really like the Phillies are that great. The Phillies are having a disappointing year so far, but do they have time to turn things around? That could happen. I'm going to ask you something, Ben. I mean, I'm going to see my Dodgers play the Phillies tomorrow. And I'm going to start with you, Ben, with this question here. The Phillies, all that tell you, they're going to have Zach Wheeler on the mound tomorrow, who's obviously one of their aces. The Phillies don't have the best pitching in the world, but you know they have the best lineup in the world.
Yeah, the Phillies have a pretty overall talented lineup. I feel like they've been kind of inconsistent. But the pitching has kind of been up and down. Zach Wheeler did pitch pretty decent the last game. He went 7 strong against Texas, so we'll kind of see how things go. Right now, the Phillies stand in their standings. They had a win today against Seattle. They're 14-17. So they're 3 games behind 500, which isn't horrible. But really kind of considering where things are, I mean, the Red Sox obviously are pretty low in a lot of categories compared to a lot of other teams. So, then a lot of teams being 14-17 is just that's nothing right now for me. But yeah, no, it should be a fun one, Laura. Hope you have a good one. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the game. I'm going to be at tomorrow's game, and I was hoping that I'd get to see Clayton Kershaw and Walker Buehler on the mound, but they're pitching at some point in the series. But Clayton Kershaw is pitching the day after I go. He gets the Friday night game, and I get Tyler Anderson on Thursday, which I'm okay with. I think Tyler Anderson is a decent pitcher. I think that he can help us win ball games here, and I think he's done a good job since being inserted into the rotation here. And before we get to Chardo's question, Ben, I mean, talk about the Dodgers sweeping the Cubs, and then they lost 2 out of 3 from the Pirates. Did you think that the Dodgers losing a series to the Pirates is kind of embarrassing?
I mean, it's very kind of shocking, right? Kind of where you see the two teams, but baseball's kind of a funny game, right? We lost a series to the Orioles, even though that we've kind of been on a pretty bad track. So, you could argue with our team, losing Orioles is pretty bad, embarrassing. Yankees have lost the series to the Orioles. So, I mean, Pirates are, a lot of these pesky teams. It happens, right? It obviously it's a long baseball season, so you're going to have good series, you're going to have bad series. Just because you might be a favorite of a series doesn't mean that you just can't go over a lot of bed and expect things to happen. So I mean, the Pirates obviously I didn't get to really watch much of that series, but I guess the Pirates just kind of fought, and they definitely had a lot of good at bats against the Dodgers pitching staff, which I give them a lot of credit for. And yeah, you guys just have to move on, and you guys should be fine. I mean,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Philly series, and I'm hopeful that the Dodgers can sweep them in 4, which I think that we should, because I think that the Dodgers should be able to wear out the Phillies pitching. But the thing is how the Phillies are going to beat the Dodgers is going to be their offense, and also if guys in the back end of the bullpen like Jess Familia, Corey Knebel, Jose Alvarado, if they are on their A game, then I think it's a long night for the Dodgers.
oh, absolutely, 100% agreed.
So Loros, I have a question for you. What were your thoughts on Ryan Pepiot making his major league debut for the Dodgers, striking out 3 batters, but ending up in a loss?
You know, it is what it is. I think Ryan Pepiot has such a bright future with the Dodgers. I think that if you look at our pitching prospects, they've had shaky debuts, and I think that this is an experience that he'll learn. It's just one game, and I do expect him to have an impact on this team later during the season. And I think the kid has a lot of potential to be a really good pitcher in the league. But I think that I'm more higher on Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. Those are the guys I'm really excited about. Also, we're going to get to our comment section here, and Casey King is tuning in. And he also says here, Philly's pitching is suspect. That's what will hold them back from making the postseason. I agree, Casey. I think that their pitching is not that great, but they have some good bullpen arms. They have good starters such as Aaron Nola, who I think is still good. Zach Wheeler is good. Kyle Gibson's good. Ranger Suarez, Ranger Suarez is also good too. But the only bad spot in the rotation is Zach Eflin. But Zach Eflin is okay. I would say. I mean, the Dodgers. I was hoping that the Dodgers would see Zach Eflin, but Zach Eflin is kind of 50-50. Ben, what do you want to reiterate about what Casey King's thoughts are on the Philadelphia Phillies?
Yes, I 100% agree. They have Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler was a very good pitcher last year. Aaron Nola is a very good caliber starting pitcher, not the same guy he used to be. Ranger Suarez, I think, is kind of a hybrid pitcher, lefty. He has decent stuff, but really outside of those 3 guys, they don't have a lot going for them. Kyle Gibson, I'm pretty sure is there, and he's decent. But I mean, if you look at really kind of this pitching staff, I think it's very suspect.
And then Casey also tunes in and says, as for the Dodgers, should have taken 2 out of 3 for the Pirates. I agree. I mean, the Dodgers have dominated the Pirates since 2017. But oh well, you can't win them all, but they'll be fine. Well, his biggest surprise is Tony Gonsolin, as he stepped up his game this year, and he's now able to go past 4 innings, which I'm happy to see him do well. I think you're right, Casey. I think that Tony Gonsolin, I think he's a guy that I thought, like, if he is right, then he is definitely a guy that can go past 5 or 6 innings or maybe 7, which I think that the Dodgers definitely need that out of him. I think he's definitely a good starter, not like an ace type starter. Tony Gonsolin's more of a back end starter with Julio Urias. I mean, Chardot, you've seen Tony Gonsolin play against your Giants. Are you happy to hear that he fought past he stepped up his game in a big way this year?
I mean, I'm really excited that he stepped his game up in a big way, because when he comes up against my Dodgers, sometimes when he steps on the mound, he can have a really phenomenal game, and he can make my Giants pay with this marvelous pitching.
Yeah, anyways, but I think that for the Dodgers here, I think they'll be fine, Casey. I'm going to the game tomorrow when they play the Phillies. I mean, they're going to see Zach Wheeler. Aaron Nola is actually pitching in that series. He's going up against Julio Urias on Sunday. And if you look at the records, for the Phillies pitching. Zach Wheeler 1-3. Kyle Gibson's 3-1. He's pretty much their best starter. And Ranger Suarez is 3-1. And then Aaron Nola doesn't have a good record so far. I mean, Ben, if you look at Aaron Nola, since he has a losing record, does that judge him by being a bad pitcher?
No, I mean he's had a lot of good career years in Philadelphia. He's not the same type of ace that we're accustomed to seeing. He's probably better at number two pitcher, but whatever kind of his record's shown, it's probably because of possibly a mid part of a game. The bullpen comes in and
or maybe lack of run support for Aaron Nola.
Run support, yeah. Philly's offense, like I said, has been very streaky too. So maybe he's just one of those pitchers that doesn't get a lot of offensive help in a lot of his starts.
Looking at the roster for the Phillies here, who I'm more excited to see tomorrow when it comes to the Phillies is Bryce Harper. I've seen him live before with the Nationals. I'm looking forward to seeing him play live. And also Kyle Schwarber, who I wish the Dodgers would have as our DH, but I think Citizens Bank Park fits that mold for Kyle Schwarber. And Rhys Hoskins has been phenomenal, had a grand slam today. JT Realmuto is still really good. So, and I think there are some guys like Bryson Stott, and also guys like when Mickey Moniak comes back, I think that the Phillies will be good. And who we're not going to see tomorrow, well, with Bryson Stotts just got recalled, Didi Gregorius is on the injured list and won't be playing in this series. So I think the Phillies, to me, their pitching is not that great, but I could tell you that they have 4 really good starters, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, the Phillies obviously are very they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be a decent team, but the way I kind of see that division lining up, I still think the Braves are they're not probably as good as they were last year.
No, I'm saying that the Braves are a good baseball team. They have the talent, but I think that the Mets have pretty much taken over that division now, Ben.
Yeah, I think the Mets have the best overall pitching staff.
Here's the thing. I think the Braves will end up with a winning record, though, at the end of the season.
Oh, 100% agree. I mean, they're the defending champs for a reason, so I can't count them out at all.
I'm not counting out Atlanta. I think Atlanta and the Mets are going to be 1-2. I think 3 is up for grabs. I just think the Phillies are better than the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
And then Washington is 11-21, which I feel like that with that roster, they should be winning.
Marlins?
Washington.
I don't know. They have a lot of holes really in their lineup. I mean, Soto's been great. Bella's had a lot better comeback here. I don't really trust their pitching.
Yeah, but anyways, we'll talk about some upcoming games here for the Boston Red Sox here after the Braves. I mean, they lost again on a walk-off. I think that the Red Sox can find a way to turn around their season. They get the Texas Rangers this weekend. I mean, I don't know who's he pitching, but Ben, do you think that with the Red Sox 11-20, is this going to be a good time for the Red Sox to try to turn things around and get their season on track against a team that was supposed to be pretty good and supposed to challenge the top tier teams in the AL West and the Rangers, but the Rangers have also been very disappointing too.
Yeah, I don't know if we will kind of fully turn around. I mean, we just need to have more complete games. Our offense has looked a lot more, I guess you could say a little bit better. The umpire kind of did fuck us over tonight. Probably would have lost 5-4, knowing us, but it was 3-3. Big part of the game in the 7th inning. Kevin Plekey was up the plate, a full count, and it essentially was a ball that was going to walk in a run. Instead, they called it strike 3. If you want to see the pitch after our show, it was clearly a ball. And so I don't know if the trajectory of that might have happened that way. But it is what it is, and we have an off day tomorrow, so that'll be nice. Regroup. Texas is coming off 12-17. I don't know who we have on the mound this weekend. Just because Rich Hill, Michael Waka are probably going to be coming back. We'll see in terms of Texas has. They have Dane Dunning, Otto, and John Gray. Looks like Whitlock might be pitching on Monday now, but we'll have to
He was
kind of see how
supposed to
things
be
go
your
there.
closer.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of missing holes with this team. It's been utterly frustrating. Not sure how things can kind of turn around in one day. And I don't know. It just feels like, every kind of small step, it's been a setback, but it's a long season for a reason. I don't know, like how, you guys feel about the Red Sox. If you feel that they're just kind of the way this team is, it's going to be, or if they actually have something going for them soon. But I mean, personally, I think that this Red Sox team is a lot better than what they've shown. They just have to really show it. They got to be more consistent. They got to just come out and really start, beating up on some teams here.
And then Chardon, I mean, talk about your Giants. They're taking on the St. Louis Cardinals next, and it's in St. Louis. And tell us, what do you want to see from the Giants this weekend in the Gateway City?
So we're gonna be going to St. Louis, and I think that we're not scared of this Cardinals team. We go out with a fire. Every team we play hard every day. So I'm not really afraid that this Cardinals team is gonna sweep us, because that is not happening. Our Giants team is full stacked with all these great players. So I think we're gonna come into St. Louis and get that sweep.
I mean, I could see that, but I think that St. Louis has a better record, has a better roster than the Giants do. But we'll see. But anyways, we have some headlines to be talking about here as the Angels beat the Rays 12-0 last night, as Reed Detmers threw a no-hitter against the Rays. And Ben, you're familiar with the Rays, and the Angels have. I've told everybody this, that I think that the Angels, when they got Noah Syndergaard, and when they kept Raisel Iglesias, when they got Archie Bradley, when they got Ryan Tapara, I think that the Angels, they're a much better team now because their roster is more balanced. I mean, Reed Detmers, to me, has such a bright future in this Angels rotation by the way he pitched that no-hitter, Ben.
Yeah, no, congrats to the kid. Reed Detmers, I think his name is, lefty, southpaw. And Justin Verlander was on the cusp of possibly throwing one against the Twins the same night, and his got broken up in like 10, 20 minutes later. Detmers did a no-no, so it's kind of crazy timing, but good for him. He's a young future ahead, and I like this Angels team. Kind of how it's been looked up. I know that they've kind of been seen as kind of the fraudulent team, but they just kind of feel like they're just kind of going great start, and then they just kind of get through the middle of the pack, and they still can. But there's something interesting and special with this team. Shohei, Mike Trout is back, hopefully healthy, fully healthy throughout the year. He's been great. Jared Walsh is a very underrated player. Anthony Rendon hit a homer heading left through the other night. So something about this vibe and the cowboy hats, and Noah Syndergaard's had a very underrated season with them at pitching. So we'll see how things go with that Angels team. But overall for the kid, good for him. And we saw a lot of crazy no-hitters last year. It's obviously it's great to see. Obviously a childhood, for a guy that would throw the perfect game, walk-off home run. But this is obviously a special for this kid, and good for him.
What about you, Shardo? What is your thoughts on Reed Detmers throwing a no-hitter against the Tampa Bay Rays as the Angels defeated the Rays 12-0?
I mean, for me, I think this is a great moment for the kid. To throw a no hitter. This is many pitchers have done it, and and it's great to see somebody like him complete this amazing feat. And hope some other pitchers can also follow in his footsteps and also throw a no hitter.
Yeah, I think if you look at it, I think that the Angels definitely are a much better team than what people think they are. I mean, the last 2 years it was kind of atrocious, but they really improved on the roster this year, and I think that this team's ready to compete for a long time. So the Astros beat the Twins 5-0. We'll have to get that information for you right now. I mean, the Astros defeated the Minnesota Twins by. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here. The Astros, however, beat the Minnesota Twins as by the final 5-0, as Justin Verlander was flirting with a no-hitter until that got broken up. I mean, I'll start with you, Ben. I mean, what are your thoughts on Justin Verlander's near no-hitter?
Yeah, Verlander really still has it this year. He's been very consistent. I'll look at his numbers, but for a guy that was coming off of not pitching, I believe last year, he's doing a pretty good job. Let me just go kind of scroll through his numbers. He's 4-1 on the season. He has a 1.4 WAR, a 1.55 ERA. And he's gone pretty deep in a lot of these starts, 5, 6 innings, 7 innings. And, Minnesota's kind of underachieved so far offensively. Carlos Correa's kind of had a tough year. He's now on the IL. But I feel like that Twins team can still hit. And Verlander kind of really held them in check, so.
And anyways, I'm going to go with, and then I'll ask Chardol this. I mean, what is your thoughts on Verlander's near no-hitter against the Twins? We have Chardol on mute.
When I'm talking about Verlander, I mean, him throwing a near no-hitter, I think that he's an amazing pitcher. And he's turned this Twins organization around. And I love that he's an inspiration to so many pitchers who want to do things exactly like Justin Verlander.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. But anyway, Chardol, we're going to get to you in just a minute here. I'm going to get to Ben on some AL East type topics here. As the Baltimore Orioles lost to the Arizona Cardinals 10-1. And, Ben, talk about the Orioles. I mean, the Baltimore Orioles are a team that is supposed to be in last place, but kind of surprising that they're ahead of the Boston Red Sox of the division.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been good, top to bottom. Yankees have obviously had a very strong start to their season. They had another huge win. They've been really done great against the Blue Jays. The Rays are in second place. They think they split their series against the Angels. Orioles have kind of just been in the middle on the bottom of the pack, and then the Red Sox have just been sucking. There's no excuse for the way things have been for the Red Sox. You look at the last 10 games, the Yankees are 8-2, the Red Sox are 2-8. So that's obviously a difference right now between a very good team and a not very good team. The Orioles are actually 6-4 in their last 10 games. They're 13-18. They're officially 2 games up on us as of right now. Blue Jays are in third place at 17-15, which isn't horrible. They're over 500. The Rays are 19-13, 4 games back, so they're going to be right there. And then, like I said, the Yankees are 22-8. They have one of the best records in baseball. So that's kind of things how stand right now in the AL East. Hopefully things change by the time I come back to update this.
Anyways, now with that being said here, Talk about the Yankees taking down the Blue Jays 5-3. I mean, the New York Yankees are on a whole nother level. Everybody was saying that the Yankees are not going to win the division because they don't have the pitching. They rely on their bullpen too much, and that's going to get taxed the entire season. And guys are healthy in the lineup, and I think that when they got rid of Gary Sanchez, Ben, this is a much better New York Yankees team that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I mean they're one of the best teams right now in comeback wins. That was one thing that they struggled with last year was their determination in their fight. They have that feel to this team that anything could really happen. Feels like they could be out of a game and they just kind of come back and make things happen. So we'll see how things go for sure.
Yeah, and then the Yankees, I think that the New York Yankees, I mean, now what's your thoughts on Aaron Judge hitting that walk-off home run?
I'm not surprised. He had a very good at bat against Romano. I was watching it. They obviously, the Yankees know how to be a resilient group. They kind of passed the baton. The bottom of the order had a couple guys walk, Trevino, and then LeMahieu had the walk to kind of set up the heroics by Judge. And this is obviously a team that's definitely improved much from what they were last year. Last year, they were a group that was kind of like the Red Sox in a way as of right now. Not a lot of heart, not a lot of resiliency, and a lot of holes into the lineup. So it sucks, obviously, as a Red Sox fan that they've done so well, but I got to give them props the way it's happened. So, that's that.
Anyways, I'll go to Chardol on this one here. I mean, the Cubs eked out a 7-5 win over the San Diego Padres. And how do you feel about this Cubs team? I mean, the Chicago Cubs, they have had a lot of struggles this year, and this is kind of like a repeat of what happened in the second half of last season, when they did this whole fire sale. This Cubs team is rebuilding from the ground up, and I could tell that they are rebuilding.
I mean, for this Cubs team, I'm really excited because we have Nico Horner, we have Marcus Stroman, and I think this Cubs team, they can do some big things in the future because they have a well-stacked lineup, and I'm really excited to see what this Cubs team can do in the future if they can pull off some magical moments throughout the season.
Yeah, and then we got Isaiah here. He was joining us briefly, and he wanted to say, "What's up, guys? Thanks for holding it down for me while I'm on vacation in Florida and dealing with the flu, and he can't wait to be back with you all soon." And he watched the Reed Detmers live because he was nasty last night, and we actually have him on. And Isaiah, I wanted to tell you this. Tomorrow, guess who I'm seeing? I'm going to a Dodger game tomorrow, and I get to see your Philadelphia Phillies in person for the first time ever because I have never seen the Philadelphia Phillies live.
Hey, first of all, guys, it's great to be with you guys for a little bit. I am in Florida right now. I'm having a good time, but it's great to be with you guys. Haven't been on this show in a couple of weeks. Hope all of you guys are doing well, and thanks for holding it down while I'm in Florida right now. Loro, I'm happy for you, man. I can't wait to see my Phillies play your Dodgers tomorrow. It's going to be not only a fun game tomorrow, but a fun 4-game series. I know the Phillies won the series against the Mariners this week. I watched 2 of those games live while I was here in Florida because I just couldn't sleep. But hope you have a great time. And speaking of going to a baseball game, I actually fulfilled my dream today, one of my dreams, and that was to go to Marlins Park, which is one of the parks that I really, really always wanted to go to. It's been at the top of my list to go to, and it absolutely lived up to the hype. I met a nice young lady security guard who was working there, and lucky me, she actually gave me and my family the privilege of getting a inside tour of the stadium, and there's a picture of me right there at Marlins Park repping that Jose Fernandez jersey. There wasn't a game there. We just got to sneak inside with the security guard for a brief, just look around. And then there's that, beautiful, nice sculpture that I saw outside Marlins Park. Always wanted to see it. One of the nicest sculptures in all of baseball. And I'm just glad that it's still there, because it would have been a shame if Derek Jeter got rid of that sculpture altogether. It's a shame he even got rid of the sculpture inside the stadium, because I think that sculpture is really beautiful, and it just fits the culture of Miami.
Anyway, Shardo, hold to that thought here. I mean, Isaiah, I'm going to tomorrow's Dodger game. I get to see Zach Wheeler pitch against Tyler Anderson, and Zach Wheeler has been one of the bright spots in the Phillies rotation, but his record not that good this year.
It hasn't been. Zach Wheeler, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, because he was tremendous for us, not only last year, but the last couple of seasons. I just think the reason why he hasn't been that good this year to start, it's because he hasn't really gotten enough time to ramp up. We never really knew when the MLB season was going to start, so that threw a lot of pitchers' routines off. Wheeler is still throwing as hard as he did in the past. His stuff is still nasty, but I think it's just getting hit a lot more, just because he doesn't have he's not putting a lot of follow through on his pitches, and you can notice that when he pitches. So I think he'll be better tomorrow. We'll see what happens, but when he's on, man, he's just filthy and he's unhittable.
Yeah, and then you talk about guys like Zach Wheeler's pitching tomorrow. Then Friday, you get Kyle Gibson's pitching against Clayton Kershaw. Saturday, you get to see Ranger Suarez pitch against Walker Buehler, and then Julio Urias on Sunday afternoon for the finale against Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola has not been that great, but talk about guys like Ranger Suarez and Kyle Gibson both being very good this year.
I think those two guys have been the aces of our rotation. I mean, you look at Gibson, the way he's pitching. He doesn't strike out a lot of batters, but he gets a lot of ground balls, and he gets a lot of outs, and he puts the ball on the ground, and that's, one of the best ways to win, especially when you're pitching at Citizens Bank Park, which if you're a fly ball pitcher like a Mike Fiers or like someone else, and you don't really have the stuff to strike out a lot of batters, you're going to get screwed at Citizens Bank Park, because Citizens Bank Park is one of those parks where you hit the ball just in the air with the wind and with the short fences, it can just carry out of the ballpark. So being a ground ball pitcher is the best way to be successful at Citizens Bank Park, and Kyle Gibson is definitely using that to his advantage. And Ranger Suarez, I've been saying it since last year. He, I think, will one day be the ace of the Phillies, because he's just tremendous. He's got great stuff, and he pitches from the left side, and he's very deceptive. So I think that I can't wait to see those two guys go at it against the Dodgers. It'll be a great test for them. Gibson, he's got to keep the ball down against the Dodgers, because the Dodgers got a lot of power hitters that if you put that ball middle of the plate or keep it up, they're going to hit that ball out of the ballpark, and by the time you know it, it's going to be like 3-0 or 4-0.
And then Aaron Nola gets the finale, and it's been a slow start for Aaron Nola. And do you think that with his 1-4 record, do you think that Aaron Nola can pick it up?
I think he can, but I think Aaron Nola is now more of a fourth starter than he is a one. When he was a one for the Phillies, he was really good, but unfortunately the Phillies were really bad. And now when you have Wheeler and you have those other guys, Nola's stuff has just dropped down as the years have gone by. So I don't know what's up with him. Maybe his elbow's bothering him, maybe his shoulder, who knows, but his stuff is just not the same. He's just not the same pitcher. He's still a good pitcher, but he's just not that great pitcher that he once was.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. But if we talk about the position players for the Phillies, Rhys Hoskins hit a grand slam. I'm excited. I've seen Bryce Harper play live before. We lost Isaiah here, but anyways, we're going to continue on here. But anyways now, Anyways, now it was great to have Isaiah on for a little bit here, and let's get to some final thoughts here. So, Ben, what are your final thoughts?
I just want to thank you for having me, like always. I know it was obviously kind of a tough, evening for me regarding my teams, but at the end of the day, it's obviously great to be on here. You guys definitely kept my my spirits high, I guess you could say, in a way. So I appreciate that. It's been obviously a very tough season for my baseball team too. So it hasn't really made much things any better, but just living life, loving obviously what I love doing, and it's obviously great being here with both of you all, and I can't wait for the next episode and talk some more baseball.
What about you, Shardo? What are your final thoughts?
Hey, Laura, I was just saying, thanks for having me on Batter Up. I was like talking baseball with you and Ben, hearing all the amazing takes you have to say about the sport. And I can't wait to join you on the next episode of Batter Up, which is going to take place on Sunday, May 15th. So I'm really excited about seeing you then. But thanks for having me on, and I was really honored that you had me on your show.
Absolutely, Shardo, anytime. But my final thoughts is that I'm looking forward to seeing the Dodgers play tomorrow against Isaiah's Phillies. I'll tell you, I can't wait to see the Dodgers whoop the Phillies, sweep them in 4. But, Joe Girardi is a manager that knows how to get his team prepared, even though the Phillies are not that good this year. You can't take them lightly, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we could do. But we'll see. But anyways, folks, tomorrow we got the NFL schedule coming out tomorrow, and next week, Ben, Chardol, and myself will have a special extra point. We'll break down the games coming up for this upcoming NFL season, and of course, we'll break down the 2022 NFL Draft and what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. Be sure to tune into that episode, and it's to be determined. So for Chardol, Ben, Lolo signing off for now. Have a great night.
Do 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 do.